Maya Thompson had spent 5 years raising little Jasmine as her own. Every scraped knee, every bedtime story, every tear wiped away with gentle hands. She never questioned why her husband Marcus seemed so distant. She never questioned why his mother looked at her with such contempt. Love, she believed, required sacrifice. But love built on lies has a way of crumbling, and the truth was about to destroy everything she thought she knew. It started on a Tuesday morning in late September. Jasmine had woken up with a fever that wouldn't break. By noon, Maya was rushing her to the emergency room, her heart pounding as the little girl's skin burned against her chest. Marcus was out of town on business. Again. He was always out of town. The doctor's face was grave as he reviewed the test results. "Mrs. Williams, Jasmine needs a blood transfusion. We need to test you and your husband immediately to find a match." Maya nodded, rolling up her sleeve without hesitation. "Test me now. My husband will be back tonight." 2 hours later, the doctor returned with a puzzled expression. "Mrs. Williams, I need to ask you something. Are you Jasmine's biological mother?" The question hung in the air like smoke. "What do you mean? Of course I am. I've raised her since she was born." "I understand that, but your blood type is O negative. Your husband's medical records show he's A positive. Jasmine is AB negative." The doctor paused, choosing his words carefully. "That's genetically impossible if you're both her biological parents." The world tilted. Maya gripped the edge of the hospital bed, her knuckles white. "There must be a mistake. We can run the test again, but Mrs. Williams, these results are quite clear." Maya's mind raced back through 5 years of memories. Marcus's insistence that they have a home birth with only his family present. His mother's strange comments about Jasmine looking nothing like Maya. The way his sister Vanessa would smirk whenever Maya talked about motherhood. And then there was Simone. Simone had been Marcus's colleague, who appeared at family gatherings with increasing frequency. She had a way of touching Marcus's arm that lasted a second too long, a way of looking at Jasmine with an expression Maya could never quite decipher. Possessive, proud, knowing. That evening, Marcus arrived at the hospital with his usual distracted air. "How's Jasmine?" "She's stable. They found a donor." Maya's voice was flat. She handed him the medical report. "Read this." Marcus scanned the document, his jaw tightening. "So what? Medical tests can be wrong." "Can they, Marcus?" Maya stood, her 5'6" frame somehow filling the room. "Because I'm starting to remember things. Like how you insisted on a home birth with no hospital records. Like how your mother made me sign all those papers right after delivery when I was exhausted. Like how Simone always looks at Jasmine like she's hers." "You're being ridiculous." But Marcus's eyes darted to his phone. He was always checking his phone. "Then take a DNA test. Prove me wrong." The silence that followed was deafening. Marcus's face cycled through emotions: anger, fear, calculation. Finally, he spoke. "Fine, if it'll stop this nonsense." But Maya saw the truth in that hesitation. She had always known, somewhere deep in her soul. She just hadn't wanted to believe it. 3 days later, Maya sat alone in her kitchen. The DNA test results lay on the table in a white envelope. She had picked them up herself, refusing to let Marcus be present. Her hands were steady as she opened it. Patient, Jasmine Williams. Alleged mother, Maya Thompson. Result, excluded. Probability of maternity, 0%. The words blurred. 5 years. 5 years of midnight feedings and doctor's appointments and school registration forms. 5 years of loving a child with every fiber of her being. 5 years of being used, The front door opened. Marcus walked in, Simone trailing behind him. Of course she was here. Maya should have known. Maya, we need to talk. Marcus's voice carried a warning edge. Yes, we do. Maya placed the DNA results on the table. Would you like to explain this? Or should Simone do the honors? Simone's face went pale. Marcus reached for Maya's hand. Look, it's complicated. Don't! Maya's voice was ice. Don't you dare touch me. Just tell me the truth. Is Jasmine your daughter with her? The truth about Jasmine just shattered Maya's world. But the biggest twist is yet to come. Will Maya get her justice? Or will Marcus's lies win? Hit that like button if you're rooting for Maya, and subscribe to find out how this sting unfolds. Drop a comment below. Would you confront Marcus now, or keep digging like Maya? Let us know, and stay tuned, because this story's sting is about to strike deeper. The silence was answer enough. Simone looked at the floor. Marcus ran his hand through his hair, a gesture Maya had once found endearing. Now it just made her sick. It was a mistake, Marcus started. It happened before we got married, and when Simone got pregnant, my mother thought, Your mother thought what? That I was stupid enough to raise your affair baby? That I would just accept this lie? You weren't supposed to find out. The words burst from Marcus before he could stop them. You were supposed to just be grateful for a family. You came from nothing, Maya. No parents, no money, no prospects. We gave you everything. Maya stood slowly, her movements deliberate. You gave me everything? Let me tell you what you gave me, Marcus. You gave me 5 years of gaslighting. 5 years of your mother's contempt because she knew I was raising another woman's child. 5 years of watching you and Simone exchange looks across the dinner table while I played the fool. It wasn't like that, Simone whispered, finally speaking. We were trying to protect. Protect who? Certainly not me. Not Jasmine, who deserves to know the truth about her mother. Maya's eyes hardened. You were protecting yourselves, your reputations, your comfortable little arrangement where I did all the work while you two continued your relationship behind my back. Marcus's face flushed with anger. You think you're so perfect? You think you can just walk away? Everything you have is because of me. This house, your car, your lifestyle, it's all mine. You signed a prenup, remember? You leave with nothing. Maya smiled then. It was not a kind smile. Is that what you think? The doorway darkened. A man in an impeccably tailored suit entered, flanked by 3 attorneys carrying briefcases. He was in his early 60s, with silver hair and eyes that matched Maya's exactly. Marcus stepped back. Who are you? I'm Richard Thompson, Maya's father, CEO of Thompson Global Enterprises. His voice carried the weight of boardrooms and billion-dollar deals. Perhaps you've heard of us. We're worth approximately $4.3 billion. The color drained from Marcus's face. That's impossible. Maya doesn't have any family. She told you what she wanted you to believe, Richard said calmly. My daughter wanted to find someone who loved her for who she was, not what she had. She wanted authenticity. Instead, she found you. One of the attorneys placed a folder on the kitchen table. Mr. Williams, you should review these documents carefully. Marcus's hands shook as he opened the folder. This says, the house is in Maya's name, the car, the business I started last year, all funded by my daughter's trust fund, Richard confirmed. Maya has been financially independent since she turned 21. Every asset you thought was yours was actually hers. She just let you believe otherwise. Maya finally spoke, her voice steady and clear. And that prenup your mother insisted I sign, Marcus? The one you think protects you? Read page 7, section 3. Marcus flipped through the pages frantically. His face went from white to gray. It says, in cases of infidelity, all assets revert to you. All of them. My lawyers wrote that prenup, Maya said softly. Your mother was so eager to protect your assets. She never actually read what she was making me sign. She just saw a poor girl with no family and assumed I was too stupid to protect myself. Simone backed toward the door. I should go. You should stay, one of the attorneys said firmly. You're named in the fraud investigation we're filing. You knowingly participated in deceiving Mrs. Williams about the child's parentage. That has legal implications. Fraud? Simone's voice cracked. Yes, fraud, Richard said, his tone matter-of-fact. You signed documents claiming Maya was the biological mother. You attended family events knowing the truth. You benefited financially from this deception. That's conspiracy to commit fraud. Marcus slumped into a chair, the folder slipping from his hands. Maya, please. We can work this out. Think about Jasmine. She needs stability. Don't you dare use that child against me. Maya's voice was sharp as glass. I've thought about nothing but Jasmine for 5 years. While you were traveling with Simone, I was the one sitting up all night when she had nightmares. I was the one who taught her to read. I was the one who loved her unconditionally. She turned to her father. I want to establish a trust fund for Jasmine. $5 million, accessible when she turns 18. She didn't ask for any of this. She deserves a future. Richard nodded. Consider it done. 5 million? Marcus's head snapped up. You can't just... I can do whatever I want, Marcus. That's what having your own money means. Maya picked up her phone, scrolling through something. I've also been documenting everything for the past 6 months. Every time Simone was at our house when you said you were working late. Every suspicious credit card charge. Every lie. She turned the phone toward him. Screenshots, photos, bank statements. A digital trail of betrayal stretching back months. I hired a private investigator the day after Jasmine's hospital visit, Maya continued. I wanted to be sure before I made my move. Turns out, you and Simone have been together the entire time we've been married. The affair never stopped. You just got better at hiding it. Simone's face crumpled. Marcus, you said we would be together once you got the business established. You said Maya was just temporary. Shut up, Simone, Marcus roared, then caught himself. But the damage was done. Maya laughed, a sound without humor. Temporary? Is that what I was? A placeholder while you built your empire with my money? It wasn't like that, Marcus tried again, but his voice had lost its conviction. It was exactly like that. Maya walked to the window, looking out at the manicured lawn she had maintained, the garden she had planted. You know what the saddest part is? I would have loved you anyway. If you had been honest. If you had told me about Jasmine from the beginning, asked me to help raise her, I probably would have said yes. Because that's who I am. She turned back to face him. But you didn't want a partner. You wanted a servant, someone to raise your child, manage your home, and ask for nothing in return. Someone you could control. Richard stepped forward. Mr. Williams, my attorneys will be in touch regarding the dissolution of your marriage and the transfer of all assets back to my daughter. You have 72 hours to vacate the premises. 72 hours? Where am I supposed to go? "That's not our concern," one of the attorneys said crisply. "You'll receive formal eviction notice within the hour." Marcus looked at Simone desperately. "We can stay at your place until—" "I don't have a place," Simone whispered. "I've been living with my sister." "I told you that." The reality of his situation was finally sinking in. Marcus had built his entire life on Maya's foundation, and now that foundation was crumbling beneath his feet. "What about my business?" Marcus asked, his voice small. "The business funded by my daughter's trust." Richard raised an eyebrow. "That business is now hers." "You can apply for a job there if you'd like, but I doubt she'll be hiring." Maya gathered her purse and coat. "I'm going to a hotel tonight. I can't be in this house right now, but I'll be back tomorrow to pack my things. I expect you both to be gone." "Maya, wait." Marcus stood, reaching for her one last time. "I know I messed up, but we can fix this. We can go to counseling. We can't do anything, Marcus. There is no we anymore. There never really was." She paused at the door. "I hope Simone was worth it. I hope all those lies and all that deception were worth losing everything." As Maya walked out with her father and the attorneys, she heard Simone's voice behind her. "Marcus, what are we going to do? I can't raise Jasmine alone." "I don't know how. You should have thought about that 5 years ago," Maya called back without turning around. "But don't worry. I meant what I said about the trust fund. That little girl will be taken care of, even if her parents won't." 6 months later, Maya stood in her new penthouse overlooking the city skyline. The space was modern, clean, and entirely hers. No memories of Marcus, no reminders of betrayal, just possibility. Her phone buzzed. A message from her attorney. "Divorce finalized. All assets transferred. Williams declared bankruptcy last week." Maya deleted the message without responding. She had moved on. The doorbell rang. Her father stood in the hallway, holding a folder. "I thought you'd want to see this." Inside were photos. Marcus, working as a sales associate at a car dealership. Simone, waiting tables at a chain restaurant, both of them looking exhausted, aged beyond their years. "Jasmine?" Maya asked quietly. "With Simone's sister. The trust fund you established is covering her private school tuition and medical expenses. She's doing well, all things considered." Maya nodded, closing the folder. "Good. That's all I needed to know." "Do you regret it?" Richard asked gently. "Giving up the chance to be in her life?" "Every day," Maya admitted. "But I can't be around them, and Jasmine deserves to know her biological mother, even if Simone isn't ready to be one." She smiled sadly. "The trust fund will give her options when she's older. That's the best I can do." Richard squeezed her shoulder. "You're stronger than I ever gave you credit for. Hiding your identity, enduring their treatment, all to find genuine love. I'm sorry it didn't work out the way you hoped." "I'm not." Maya turned back to the window. "I learned something valuable. I learned that kindness isn't weakness, that wanting to be loved for who you are, not what you have, isn't naive. And I learned that some people will never see your worth, no matter how much you sacrifice." She picked up her laptop, opening a document. "I'm writing a book about my experience, about women who dim their light for men who can't handle their shine, about the importance of knowing your value." "That's my girl," Richard smiled. "What are you calling it?" "Every story has a sting." Maya's fingers moved across the keyboard. "Because this one certainly did. And I want other women to know they don't have to accept less than they deserve. They don't have to shrink themselves to fit into someone else's small vision. Her phone buzzed again. This time it was a message from Marcus, the 15th one this month. She deleted it without reading. There had been letters too, voicemails, even a handwritten note delivered to her office, all of them begging for forgiveness, for another chance, for the money he thought she owed him. Maya owed him nothing. She had given him 5 years of her life, 5 years of unconditional love, 5 years of believing his lies. That was more than enough. Now she was building something new. A foundation for women escaping deceptive relationships. A scholarship fund for children caught in custody disputes. A life that meant something beyond being someone's convenient solution. As the sun set over the city, painting the sky in shades of orange and gold, Maya smiled. Not because she had won, not because Marcus had lost everything, but because she had finally found what she'd been searching for all along, herself. And that was worth more than any revenge could ever be. Did Maya's story leave a sting? Hit that like button if you cheered for her comeback, and subscribe to catch more stories of betrayal, truth, and triumph. Drop a comment. Would you have forgiven Marcus? Or was Maya's justice the only way? Let's talk below, and don't miss next story, where another secret changes everything.